Hey guys, this is Kev with Kev-D Fitness. I wanted to do another Q&A video. I put out a call on my Google+, my Twitter page, and my Facebook page for some questions, and I'm going to go over some of the best ones. I'm going to try to keep this not too long a video, try to spend about a minute or so answering each question. So let's get right to it. From a friend of mine on Google+, Sachin, he asks me, Kevin, is deep squats really important? And how does it help to build overall muscle mass? Yeah, squatting deep is very important. If you want to optimally hit your muscles, your quads, your glutes, and your hamstrings through the full range of motion and optimally develop them, you have to go through the full range of motion of your squat. That means, guys, going ass to grass, not doing half squats or quarter squats or even parallel. Below parallel, guys. When you're if you're not going all the way down, literally ass to grass, you're not getting a full stretch in your quads, you're not getting a full stretch in your glutes, and the bottom portion of the squat, though they are a secondary muscle in the squat movement, the bottom portion of the squat really activates your hamstrings as well. So yes, the answer is yes. Go as deep as you can, and if you're having a tough time going down to the floor, ass to grass on your squats, then I recommend doing some stretching. It's a lot of times it's a hip flexibility problem or maybe an ankle flexibility problem. If it's a hip flexibility problem, a great squat, or a great stretch I should say, is what's known as a third world squat. You can Google it and find it on YouTube. It's a great exercise to really increase the flexibility in your hips. So yes, it is very important to go through the full range of motion on your squats for your full optimal muscular development. Next, from Kaz, what's eating clean? Well, that's a tough one because just about anybody's going to have their definition of what eating clean is. I will, of course, just give you mine. Like I've said before, I don't believe that there are good or bad foods. You know, is a Twinkie a bad food? Well, if you're eating 4 of them a day every day, then yeah, it's a bad food. But if you're having 1 a week, not a big deal. Not a big deal at all, guys. So my definition of eating clean, and I consider myself a clean eater, what I like to do is eat about 80 or 90% of my food, my calories every week, from really unprocessed foods. Not really fatty foods, not really high calorie foods. You know, I eat a lot of sweet potatoes, rice, pasta, chicken breasts, venison, things like that. And you've seen my full day of eating video, you've seen my food variety video. So I'm getting if you see what most of those foods are, they're one ingredient. When you look, really what it comes down to eating clean is you want to try to eating one ingredient. Sweet potato, one ingredient. Brown rice, one ingredient. Chicken breast, one ingredient. When you start to get into even, and I do eat cereal, you got a whole list of ingredients in there. Oatmeal, one ingredient. And so to really try to eat clean, try to keep it down to one ingredient, not too processed foods, not really high fat and high trans fats and things like that, and a lot of chemical additives that are in a lot of food. So try to avoid those. And but like I said, 10-20% of your overall calories, not a big deal, not going to kill you, and not going to really impede your goals either, guys. As long as it's within your calories, that's the key. All right, a couple more Google Plus questions. Let's see here. Why do people get so hung up on nutrition? Question from Scott. Okay, the reason people get so hung up on nutrition is, in my opinion, what I always say is you cannot out-train a bad diet. If your nutrition is poor and you're looking to lose weight or gain muscle, but you're just not getting enough protein, you're not getting enough vitamins and minerals, and antioxidants, so you're not of optimal health, and if you're trying to lose weight and you're overeating, or if you're trying to put on some muscle and you're undereating, you're not going to achieve your goals. So really, you can't out-train a poor diet. So make sure your nutrition matches what your goals are, and if it doesn't, you're not going to achieve them, guys. That's why people get really hung up on nutrition. It goes hand in hand, guys. Exercise and nutrition, hand in hand for whatever your goal is. Kevin, how to build more muscle? Lots of repetitions with lightweight or less repetitions and lift heavyweight? In my opinion, guys, for optimal muscle growth, you want to be in the hypertrophy range. You know, really, I like to keep my reps between 6 and 10. Maybe on certain exercises I'll go up to 12 reps, but keep your reps between about 6 and 10, and lift heavy. Lift heavy in that range. You know, don't do lightweight and high reps. That's going to become an endurance exercise. And if you're doing too low of repetitions, you know, 2 to 5 range or 1 to 5 range, that's going to be more of a strength. You're going to get more of a strength response from that, which to a large degree is going to be less hypertrophy and more neural adaptations, where your muscles become very much more efficient at firing, and your central nervous system is going to be much more efficient at activating those muscles, so you'll be able to get those strength gains. So if you want to get optimal muscle growth, stay between that 6 to 10 rep range, guys, and yeah, lift as heavy as you can within that rep range. You know, as heavy as you can. Okay. And another question from Alfredo. I don't know if I failed to mention him on the last one, but protein shakes needed after workouts? No, not at all, guys. I went over that in my post-nutrition workout video. You don't need to take a protein shake. If you've eaten beforehand, that's perfectly fine. If you like having a post-workout shake, then have it, and it's just going to be another source of your protein throughout the day, guys. You know, most people don't train fasted. You know, which is really about 24 hours removed from eating any food. So you're going to have protein in your system. So you don't need one. If you want one, yes. And I do recommend, you know, having eaten within maybe 4 or 5 hours of training. Or, you know, even if a lot of people like to work up first thing in the morning and train, I personally like to do that too. My dinner's still digesting. I'm still getting protein. It's being absorbed from my intestinal tract. So not a problem. Not a problem, guys. So it really comes down to personal choice. You do not need to have a post-workout shake. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to now go onto my Facebook page. A couple questions from my Facebook page. Here's a great question. Great question. Can you give me your thoughts on this? My program is built on a foundation of pure strength training with some bodybuilding movements at the end of each workout. I kill the main lifts. My problem is I'm finding my strength is way up, but it's becoming a slow strength. How can I integrate some training that adds power to my strength, and I'm not sure how to integrate it best while keeping my strength gaining intensity up? Okay, so what it sounds like to me, and this is from Christian, what it sounds like to me is you're hitting, when you say slow strength, you know, you're hitting sticking points where the weight, you're moving the bar through the motion slowly, and when you're moving away slowly, of course, like he said, you're losing your power. Power is a function of both strength and speed. So, depending on what the lift is, there's a couple things you can do. A lot of times what helps, if, for example, let's say your lift is that you're having a tough time with is bench press, and you're having a tough time at the bottom, or squats coming out of the hole, you know, at the bottom of your squat, when you're ass to grass, so to speak, is what you do is drop the weight that you're working with a little bit, and instead of bouncing out of the bottom of your squat, or bouncing up, coming up off your chest hard, hold the weight. Hold it, give it a 2-second hold, and then explode up. What that's going to do is you're gonna not have the rebound effect that you get from the muscle stretching on the way from on the eccentric, the concentric part of the movement, and then propelling up into the eccentric part. You get a rebound effect. It's going to eliminate that, and then it's just your muscles are going to be moving the weight, so you'll get much stronger out of the hole, for example, in those movements. Now, another thing you could do is, if, for example, the exercise is deadlifts. If you're having a tough time coming out of the floor, try deficit deadlifts. If you're having a tough time up at the top of the deadlift, try rack pulls. Also guys, and I mentioned this in another video, if it coming on the bottom of your bench press, if you're having a tough time, overhead presses are great. It's going to really build up your front delts, or push presses, similar movement. You can usually use quite a bit more weight on a push press because you're going to get some leg drive in there. But they really build up your front delts, which at the very bottom portion of your bench press movement are heavily recruited. So, very in-depth question, so that one took a little bit longer to answer, and I hope I did a good job answering it. And my last question, guys, let's see here. I was concerned that I hope you could give me some clarity on. I have a bad right shoulder and a bad lower back. This is from Roberto, by the way. I know that if I want to gain muscle mass, I will eventually have to stack on some weight. What do you think would be the safest way to go about this? Thanks. Okay, Roberto. Well, the first thing, whenever you're dealing with an injury, this is for anyone, is listen to your body. That's number one. And listen to your doctor. If your doctor has told you, look, you got a back problem, no squats, no deadlifting, guess what? Those exercises are just going to have to be out of the repertoire of exercises that you can do. That's number one. Now, when I say listen to your body, you have to see how your body's responding to the training. Not only during the training, but afterwards. If you're feeling any sharp pains while you're training, you should stop right away. You shouldn't be feeling any sharp pains in your joints, whether it's your knees, your shoulders, or your back, or anything like that. You shouldn't be feeling sharp pains at all. And then you also want to monitor and see how you feel afterwards. If you're very achy in your joints afterwards, that can be an indication that something wrong is going on. You have to listen to your body and maybe slow down and take it easy. Now, specifically, you're talking about your lower back and your right shoulder. So you might have a tough time with bench press. What I would recommend on bench press, maybe you don't want to take it all the way down to your chest because like I just said, you know, the bottom portion of your bench press is heavily recruiting your delts, puts a lot of stretch on your shoulders. Go to parallel. Go a couple inches above, 2 to 3 inches above your chest. Hopefully that will alleviate any pain and help you avoid any pain in your shoulder, for example. For your lower back, go slow on any movement, especially with your lower back, because you know you're using those muscles just in everything you do. You don't even realize it throughout the day. You know, when you're getting up, when you're walking, when you're sitting, standing, all the time. But go slow into the exercises. If you can do a squat, if you can do a deadlift, you can do barbell rows where you're bending over and you're supporting the weight with your lower back. Take those exercises slow. Get your form perfect, start with light weight and slowly work your way up. You know, you don't have to jump and be deadlifting, you know, 400 pounds right off the bat. You don't have to be squatting 400 pounds right off the bat. Take your time and go slow. That will give your body the ability to gain strength, slow, steady pace, and you won't do anything to you know, shock yourself, so to speak, or you won't be handling weights that you just simply can't handle, and then which can lead to, you know, a new injury or a furtherance of your current injuries. So, in general, don't do anything. Don't do any movements your doctors tell you not to do. Don't do any movements that you feel are, you know, uncomfortable and cause pain, and just work within those parameters. And if you have to cut exercises out, cut them out, and just do the exercises that you can do. So guys, that was my second Q&A. I hope I got some great questions. I hope I got some great answers. Thank you very much for everybody who submitted a question. I really appreciate it, and I really enjoyed answering for you. And hopefully we'll do this again in another week or two. Thanks, guys.